Le'Veon Bell was released by the New York Jets late Tuesday night, so we're going to make a video about the top teams that could go out and get the free agent running back. Let's just be honest. It was a bad marriage right when the Jets went out and gave Lev Bell a fat new contract. We sat here and said that they shouldn't do it, and really, Adam Gase didn't use him right, and the relationship between Bell and Gase was just bad. He was frustrated after the loss on Sunday, went to Twitter to express some of that frustration. Now, an important note with Bell's contract, the Jets still owe him $6 million minus the value of the new deal. So what does that mean exactly? If a team goes out and gives him $3 million, the Jets then only offer him $3 million. Watch this math. If a team gives him $2 million, Jets only offer him $4 million. And it's really interesting to think about what he could potentially be getting because, let's face it, he hasn't been good with the Jets, right? I mean, 264 carries, 3 touchdowns, 863 yards on the ground, only 3.3 yards per carry. You could say, sure, Mitch, it's been the Jets' offense, and they are definitely to blame. But one of the other reasons why Bell was really sought out was his ability to catch the football. 69 catches, 500 yards, 1 touchdown. Let's face it, Frank Gore this season has looked better than Le'Veon Bell for the Jets. That's a problem. But how about this? Because I think we all remember at one point, you could make the argument that Bell was the best running back in football. Well, here are his numbers with the Steelers. Maybe there's a part of me that's like, well, could he go back to Pittsburgh? Stay tuned. 321 carries in 2017. Remember, he sat out in 2018, still looking for that extra contract. But then the receiving game. I mean, when you watched Bell and his fit with this Pittsburgh offense, the patience, the vision, and just he was always in sync, like always. If you're a Backstreet Boys fan, I'm sorry, but he was always in sync with Big Ben and that offense. But here's the question that I'm going to be asking everyone. Who should go out and sign Le'Veon Bell? I want you to put that in the comments section below. Here at Chat Sports, we want your participation. We're not just like every other YouTube channel. No, I am genuinely interested in where you think Bell should sign. It's why we're ultimately making this video. So we're getting ready now to get into our top 6 teams here for Le'Veon Bell, and I do want to remind you again, you might as well hit that notification bell, right? Le'Veon Bell? No? Make sure you do hit that bell so that way you know every single time we drop a video. Number 6 on our Lev Bell destinations, the Seattle Seahawks. And I think Chris Carson is one of the most underrated running backs in the league. But you have to agree, he has struggled with injuries not just this year, but also in the previous years, basically ever since he came out of OK State. Bell also wants to play for a winning team, and last time I checked, the Seahawks, they're pretty good. They're the only team with a 5-0 record. If you haven't seen our NFL Power Ranking Seahawks fans, I think you'd be pretty happy to see where they're at. Plus, he could rejoin his old teammate Jamal Adams, because I know if I'm Adams, I'm going to say, wait a minute, that guy was pretty good, and it was the Jets. It wasn't so much him. So you go out and potentially get Bell. Now, do the Seattle Seahawks actually need him? I'm not 100% sure. I love the fact that they're letting Russ cook. They've also gone out and tried to get a running back like Carlos Hyde, who right now is injured. I do anticipate him coming back in Week 7. Remember, the Seahawks have a bye week in Week 6, but you also have some other decent backs there. And the guy that you drafted in the first round, yes, he's been on IR, and he can come back, but if you go out and get Bell, this, to me, already says, like, okay, we absolutely lost on Rashad Penny. And I know a lot of Seahawks fans would already agree, like, yes, you've already lost on Penny because Chris Carson's been the better player. However, I think that's going to be a tough pill to swallow. Penny's electric. He's a fun guy. But the real question is, do the Seattle Seahawks actually need another running back? Now, Bell's had some drama. There is no doubt about that. But is it the Jets, is it Adam Gase, or is it Le'Veon Bell? So what I want you guys to do right now is let me know. Do you want your favorite team to go out and get him? Type Y for yes, or I want you to type N for no. There's been some NFL rumors circulating that you could see NFL fans packing the stadiums again. If that happens, you're going to need a face mask. That I can promise you. If you go out and get groceries, if you go to fill up your gas tank, if you go to walk your dog down the road, just wear a mask, do the right thing. And we're trying to get you these deals here. Chatsports.com/staysafe is the link. You can right now save up to 30% off. The 4-pack for all 32 teams is only $20.99. Usually $29.99. If you want the masks that the players are wearing, they're also available. Comes in packs of 2, 3, 4. Probably my favorite thing about the mask, besides the fact that, you cover your mouth, they're also machine washable. You need masks like that. Again, the link is available in the in the comments and in the description, chatsports.com/stay safe. Number 5 here, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Shrug emoji, why not, right? Because he was so good in Pittsburgh. And I am a believer in James Conner. But what I don't believe with Conner is that he's going to be able to stay healthy. And right now this Pittsburgh team is 4-0. They are one of the best teams in the league. And yes, Big Ben is fun to watch. However, this is still a team that wants to be able to run the football. Benny Snell had a great game in week 1. And then he basically went back to looking like Benny Snell. James Conner, again, a lot of confidence there. But can you and I honestly sit here and say, yes, James Conner's going to play a full 16-game season? He's already missed a game. No, you can't. So go out, get Le'Veon Bell to be able to compete in that AFC North, because if the playoffs were to start today, 3 teams, Pittsburgh, the Ravens, and the Browns, would make it in. But I know what you guys are going to say. Why would you go out and get Bell if you have James Conner? Well, luckily for you, we're going to debate about it here. Here are their stats since 2019. Conner versus Bell. Who's the better running back? Le'Veon Bell, I want you to type LB. Or, if you think it's James Conner, I want you to type JC. Now, I've ripped on Bell in the past. There's no doubt about that. And when we put our running back rankings out earlier in the year, I had James Conner higher. But I'm going to say if you were to put Le'Veon Bell on this Steelers team in this offense, I believe the production would be better. I think Bell is still a better pass-catching running back, which is really how this offense moves. I'm going to type my LB. If you want to get mad at me, you can find me on IG, at Mitchell Renz 365. Before we get into some other teams, here's this. How about the teams that just didn't quite make it into our top 6? The LA Chargers just lost Austin Eckler. Think it'd be a good fit there. The Bills, they just got their butts whooped against Tennessee. Maybe Devin Singletary, TJ Yeldon ain't the answer. The Patriots, they've always been kind of going out, bringing in some new players. The Chiefs, I know they have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but they were relying on Damian Williams, and Bell would be a great fit in that offense, and Shanahan with the running backs. It's just too easy. Maybe Bell could go to the 49ers. Now, I do want you guys to support the show. We would really appreciate it. Subscribe for free videos every single day. We drop a new vid basically every 3 hours. The way that we can keep this channel for free, it's hard to be able to find channels with over 200,000 subs that are for free. All we ask is that you click the big red button that says subscribe, and make sure you join us on our live shows every Monday and Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. The Philadelphia Eagles, you're next up here on our Lev Bell destinations, and Miles Sanders is a running back 1. Let's make that statement. But you're going to see a common theme here. Good running back that can't stay healthy. Why not then go out and get Le'Veon Bell? There were multiple reports out there that the Eagles continue to look for a running back despite having Sanders, because the backs behind him, sorry, they're nothing to really write home about. But if you're Philadelphia, you just saw Dak Prescott go down. Sure, you're 1-3-1, but you got to be sitting here saying, yes, it's been a rough season. Carson Wentz hasn't been playing well. But maybe going out and get a player like Lev Bell, we can run the football a little bit more and then contend and win the NFC East or the NFC least. Now, I'm curious. Do y'all think that Le'Veon Bell is a top 10 running back? I want you to type 10 for yes or type 0 for no. 3 years ago, I would have said, yes, this is a slam dunk. You could have made the argument that he's number 1. But until I see him actually looking decent and not being outperformed by Frank Gore, I'm going to type my 0 for no. The Arizona Cardinals next up here, and this is one of the most intriguing fits to me. And is Arizona actually the best fit? Because I think of the Cliff Kingsbury offense. I think of the way that they move the football, and I saw how they used Kenyon Drake last year. They're not using Kenyon Drake the same because he's not good, and they also have this guy that they're throwing to, which they should, to DeAndre Hopkins. But here's another interesting note. The Cardinals running back coach, James Saxon, he was Bell's coach in Pittsburgh. Interesting nugget there. I've always liked Edmonds, basically since he's come out of Fordham. I think he's been a very underrated running back. But I know Cardinals fans are not impressed with Kenyon Drake and how he's been playing, and it's hard to be impressed with these type of numbers, right? 314 yards on the ground, 3.7 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns, and he was used so heavily in the passing game last year. He has now turned into a one-dimensional running back, and sure, he got paid, maybe he got lazy, but I know one thing. If Le'Veon Bell plays the way he did, maybe just like 80% of the way he did in 2017, he'd be a major upgrade over Kenyon Drake. The Miami Dolphins have been looking for a running back the entire offseason, and I thought maybe they found one in Matt Breida, and if not, maybe you go out and get a guy like Jordan Howard. Well, Howard and Matt Breida have just been, oh my Lord, terrible. So bad that they've been relying on 7th-round pick Myles Gaskin. I mean, no offense to Myles Gaskin, but, like, he should not be a starting running back in the National Football League, and he's been playing a little bit better. But, I mean, this is still an offense that can move the football. I mean, you got guys like Mike Gesicki. You have quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick, who sure has his ups and downs, but he's been playing pretty well of late. You got Devontae Parker, Preston Williams. I mean, there's a lot of options here, and this is still a team that wanted a running back, and they were interested in Le'Veon Bell all the way back when he was at one point available. So I'm sitting here saying, man, how can you have Matt Breida as your RB2? Maybe you get rid of him. Jordan Howard, he's got a 2-year deal, but, I mean, look at these numbers. 18 carries, 14 yards. They're laughable, absolutely laughable. So what you think here? Are the Miami Dolphins the best fit for Bell, or do you think it's another team? I mentioned earlier that I actually think that the Cardinals could be a better fit, but if I'm Bell, maybe you can make a little bit more money going to Miami and getting a little bit more playing time. Now, obviously, this is a video about the top destinations for Bell. So the best fit for Bell is coming up right now. It's the Chicago Bears. And David Montgomery was a running back that I had a lot of high hopes for when he first came out of Iowa State, but he just hasn't looked good the last 2 weeks. And sure, you could put some blame on that Bears offense, no doubt. It doesn't look too much different with Nick Foles, Mitch Trubisky. Yell at me if you want. But as soon as they lost Tariq Cohen, and that was a major hit. Cohen was not as good as what he was in 2018. He struggled in 2019. Obviously, going down with the injury hurts. But this is a Bears team that wants to be able to throw the ball to the running backs. And I go back and I think of the good old days with Matt Forte, when Forte was bringing in over 100 catches. Call me crazy. If you can get Le'Veon Bell motivated, tell me why Bell can't go out there and at least catch 60, 70 balls to his team, because Nick Foles will check it down. Mitch Trubisky, if he comes back in, he'll also check it down. So for me, we posed the question at the beginning of the show, who will sign Le'Veon Bell? The Chicago Bears are number one for a reason. If you don't like the video, if you don't like the options, you can find me on Instagram or Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365, or way we always encourage you, yell at us in the comments section.